We have to admit, our profession is not amongst the most admired. Recent polls rank salespeople and business executives right there among lawyers and telemarketers as some of the least trusted professions. And there's even a term, Salsey, to describe a person or an approach to selling in an unaware, aggressive, or superficial manner. There's no equivalent term that I'm aware of for nurses, doctors, or firefighters. So as I think about what makes a sales pitch great, I would argue that by their very nature, every sales pitch is salesy. A sales pitch should be short and have a clear message. It should detail your ideal client, the problem they're facing, a plan for how your product or service will help them, and what their success will look like as a result. And if you follow this framework on how to build your pitch, it is bound to be three things. Deliver to someone in the wrong state of awareness. The very nature of a pitch is to be delivered upon the question, what do you do? Or what does your company do? There is no room for questions to clarify and understand your audience first. Secondly, it is superficial. Most issues cannot be reduced to a black and white 30-second soundbite, as much as marketeers would like us to believe this. And thirdly, it has to be aggressive, to stand out from the many other pitches. It is aggressive through the choice of words, the long string of buzzwords spiced with superlatives. Can all of this be overcome? Can you develop a sales pitch that is not salesy? Let me give it a try. You start with a statement or question about the problem you solve and share why it is important. A catchy statistics perhaps, like only 3% of people rate a salesperson as honest. Or you tell it as a story, either about yourself or someone or something well known. Something like, back in 2015, I was working at VW trying to sell diesel cars. The hardest part here, make sure the problem and the why is relevant to the person you speak with. If they do not relate, either save your breath or ask questions to determine at least one common denominator first. For example, when was the last time you purchased a car? Did you do it at a dealership? At a trade show or another in-person event where people wear badges? Lead the conversation by asking, what do you do at your company? Understand their role first before pitching. Or when you know the audience is 80% homogeneous, tailor it to the 80% and specifically state it. For example, as a car salesperson, you have a trust issue. The common starting point, in my opinion, is the most important step. Without it, the rest is worthless. With it, you have a chance to avoid being salesy. Then share a very clear, concise statement of the value you, your product, or your service delivers. Focus on the outcome, how it solves the problem. The hardest part, avoid using jargon or buzzwords. They make you sound less genuine, they make you sound like anybody else, and they make you lose the share of the audience that's less familiar with those terms. What is unique? What differentiates you and ensures your success? Here's a place for catchy phrases that paint a picture through analogy. My favorite to this day is, how do you explain a search engine for chemicals? Google for chemists. Then provide clear reference examples and list recognizable achievements. And as soon as you have them, share customer examples and success stories to make them real and relatable. Use emotional and personalized customer stories. And if the customer agrees to it, use his name. That type of testimonial is priceless. And finally, close the pitch with an open-ended question or ask. Is there something you would like to know from your conversation partner? or something you would like them to do, the obvious goal here is to move beyond the pitch to the next step. And then practice, practice, practice. And this brings me back to the original question. Does a sales pitch always have to be salesy? While I do maintain my earlier statement that they inherently are, you can take steps to break the mold. One part is practice, because eventually, with practice, the pitch will become empathetic, personalized, relevant, meaningful, and successful.